So yeah, welcome back. We are still looking at art. And my question the last time was, if art is about producing something new, it seems that at some point people will get used to the idea that artists produce something new. And then we have a certain kind of, let's say it numbing, so that people say, oh yeah, there's something new, there's something new. So the new becomes a purpose for itself and in itself, in a sense, and it cannot
Mm.
deliver what it promises anymore. So I guess, like, in the time of Van Gogh, right, delivering something new
Mm.
was very different from nowadays where we all embrace the new already. Do you
Mm.
understand what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I understand. Yeah, he just make some new, really new. That is new. Just that moment it was new, but now it is new. But that moment is a lot of people see that is a critique like, okay, no news is weird, it's very weird and
Mm.
very odd. But what he doing? Why he do something like this? And a lot of people say that, okay, just this guy is very crazy, probably is a psychopath or something.
Yeah,
So
and was
and
provocative back
yeah,
then.
very
Yeah.
provocative. But Vincent van Gogh never care about that. He's always to do something he really want, and he's a true artist. A true artist, and he's totally is provocative, and he's just trying to look for like a lot of the educators say that, okay, as a man, you have to, as a person, you have to do something without any just you don't worry about the judgmental from that, but it's just you just keep walking. There's a Vincent van Gogh had to do something like this, and because he's always do what he want to do, and what he want to do, probably that's kind of tips from God. He said, okay, that's tips from God. God led me to do something like this. I just would do something like this. One very famous British artist, Turner.
Mm.
I read that. But when he almost dead, he's along the bed, lying on the bed, and he's almost died. Is very sober, and is very no very live very too much dizzy. But suddenly he just opened up the eyes. He said, "The sun is God." He just blows the last the air, so they see the past. And I think as like a Vincent van Gogh, he said, okay, so he really, really loved and very good at to arrange the light and the sound or something. So he's trying to arrange every single stuff very perfectly on canvas. So and the kinetic stuff, the energy or
So he is
something.
the artist that produced like the night, the scene in the night cafe, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a very admired and is I think he's a very is a good example to me because because I'm an artist. I'm an
Hmm.
artist. I really trying to put art in my career. It's my career.
But
So
can you still produce something new? That's the question. When everybody expects something new, is that still
um,
like producing
um,
something new is nothing new anymore? Do you understand what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, I know.
So,
But that moment is quite weird. It's new. It's new. But a lot of people see that cool. The new you did is very weird, very odd.
mm,
But I think new is very interesting. New is a adjective. You just use the as adjective to describe is new stuff, is new. But I think new is a compliment. Is kind of a compliment to people. Okay, you do something. You, I think that never said it before. Okay, if it's a compliment, if you give worship, we say, oh, that's new. Very good,
mm.
very interesting. If I trying to demonize you, I don't really like you. He said, no, it's ugly, is odd, is weird,
It's
something like
old.
this.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like it
yeah,
already
yeah, yeah.
exists or
I think
something.
depends, but that object is still here. That
Mm.
object is still here. Depends on what kind of people, how people do describe it. So a lot of people say that Vincent van Gogh is very new. I think in his mind or under his consciousness, probably he trying to accept Vincent van Gogh's the work. But some people say that odd or some weird. It's like okay, but in mind probably says Van Gogh is I don't like it. I don't really like this guy. I don't really like what he did.
Yeah, yeah, but I still wonder because this aspect of new and our generation and our historical moment embracing novelty. right? There's something weird about it, because if I look back 100 years, what was the news? The news was something like, oh, World War I ended. Big news, right? And maybe 300 years ago, it was even less. So now, like in our time, we generated news shows. So every day we suddenly have news. And then we have channels that broadcast news all the day and that constantly seek and search for news. So I feel like this is a part where art becomes production, and it becomes more and more difficult to produce something new. And I question here a little the aspect of news, of being new as part of art.
Yeah, that is they were quite famous. It's quite it's quite famous. There's a lot of the controversy in China a couple of years ago. That's what it is. It is by a very avant-garde artist.
Yeah.
Around 3 or 4 years ago, I remember. But what
and it parodises art.
Yeah.
It makes fun of art.
That is
right?
that is kind of art. That is kind of art.
It's new.
It's new.
Yeah. It supersedes what Andy Warhol did.
It is hard to say. It is no very new, but very few person do it. But no very new. Yeah, literally it's no very new, because there is a Duchamp did it before 100 years ago.
Duchamp, yeah.
Yeah, and but
That's
now
true.
is but he's a little tricky. He's a little tricky. But as far as I know, it's no solo exhibition. That artist attend the group exhibition, probably 5-6 person, even more. I don't remember it. But he's make some of this kind of artwork put out there. But a lot of people is like, oh, that is what has there? That is belong to art. But he said, yeah, that is art. But he never comment on that. He never respond. Some people criticized after the opening of the exhibition, but
so he let it in the mystery.
Yeah,
he let it to be a mystery.
But I think but in my opinion, if I what this artist make his artwork and trying to in addition to display the banana with tips and the glue on the wall, I probably another thing I'm trying to describe is a few exhibition just open one day, probably a week, probably 2 weeks. This banana started rotting.
Yeah,
start rotting. I think that is it's kind of life. This is kind of person. It's kind of some new stuff, and the new stuff exists in here in the wild. Probably started rotting.
But see, it's very interesting if somebody buys this piece of art.
Oh yeah,
right? What does he do with it? What do they do with it?
I don't really know. I don't really know for that. But I think there's a that
you just keep the rottening banana, or like and then
that is a business that is belong to the art. Business belong to the art.
They just put some spray over it, or
yes.
What do they do with it? Next one.
There's a that's kind of emoji, right?
That's an emoji.
That is kind of emoji. Yeah, it's belong to it's kind of art. But for me, is I don't really want to buy it. I don't really want to buy it.
This is not a pipe.
Art. Yeah,
this is not a pipe. Next one.
This Banksy. That's a graffiti. It's a very famous graffiti, Banksy, and very few Chinese artists know that, because the graffiti, basically graffiti prohibited in China. The government cannot allow you to do it. But in UK, but in London, Banksy is quite famous. Have you watched one documentary about Banksy? It's Banksy in New York.
No, I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, it is Banksy in New York, and around probably 2015 maybe, Banksy is traveling in the New York City, and he just makes the artwork. But after that, he just Twitter it. He just post the picture on Twitter it and look. With located, just a lot of people started, just following him, is trying to looking for his painting. It's very interesting. He's very avant-garde, and I think he's a very true artist. But now, nobody know who he is.
Yeah,
nobody saw his face. But and his Twitter is very interesting. His Twitter is like.
So the new thing about him is that he just produces art in public.
Yeah, it is in the public.
But how can he make money from that?
It's hard to say. Probably he's just only working in daily life.
I wish
No.
I wish he would put some art on my house.
Mhm.
Then I could sell my house certainly better.
That
You know this one,
is
right?
Pixel. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I
It's
know
a
this one.
QR
It's a
code.
pure, yeah, Pixel.
That's a famous German artist,
Yeah.
Gerhard Richter.
Uh-huh.
He's probably, now I sit in the way. Let me
Uh-huh.
just take away our video here.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the most famous or the highest sold artist of our time.
Mm-hmm.
So when he makes 12 paintings a year, and when he sells one, it goes at least for 1 million. That does not sound much because we hear other prices for art pieces that are sold, but for him, it is a lot for an artist that is still alive and that just produces a picture.
Yeah, that is kind of Pixel, and he used to make some painting with some pixels, pixelize or some massage. It's kind of massage, something. It's not my taste, but I say that is the art. I respect him, but it's not my taste. It's too ideal. It's too conceptual, I think.
Too conceptual.
Yeah, too conceptual. But
more conceptual than the zipper.
But zipper is quite natural. But this one is like more industrial pixel stuff. Good. I respect his old guy, but I respect his artist. I respect his the painting behind him. But honestly,
he probably wouldn't care if you disrespect him.
Yeah, I don't really.
He has so much money, you know.
Neither, yeah.
So you can disrespect him.
Yeah, indeed. And one more thing is, sometimes I just talk about some art and even some people or the artists talking art with me. I barely talk something about money because artists are the money. If you say that, okay, this artwork is very good because he's just costs a lot of money, I think it's not too much relation something because art is art. We're just talking about the artwork, just only artwork. We're talking about is art market. We talk about money. So it's like a marriage and love. I still remember. I can share some story to you. And when I was working in the Yard Scout Gallery 6-7 years ago, it's very interesting. One lady, probably at the moment probably over 72 or 73 years old, and she's a very good sculptor. He's a marvelous sculptor. He makes some very tiny, very cute sculpture. And once he talked to me to grab coffee and talked to me, hey, so how old are you? I said that moment I'm 26. I'm 26. You got married? No, not yet. He told me, don't get married for love. Sorry? I misunderstood. What happened? He said, don't get married for love. If you get married for love, probably you may divorce 20 times in your life.
Yes.
Because love is love, and marriage is marriage. I don't want to talk too much about that. But that is one of the things. It's like, but it's similar.
So don't make art for love.
Yeah. You can make art for love. You can make art for love, but don't
sell it for money.
True money, true love, or true art you loved into get involved in the art market or make some money slave.
Well, I wouldn't mind if somebody buys my art pieces for $1 million a piece, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
By the way, this is a very interesting painting because he put that also into the Cathedral of Cologne. In the Cathedral of Cologne, they had these traditional windows where traditional artists produced windows with figures and representing stories from the Bible. And then the diocese, we call it Bischofsturm, they bought like one window from Gerhard Richter and they put it in there, and the cardinal of Cologne, he said that is deformed art and arted. So that was a term that the Nazis used, right? So he was not very happy, and it was a big scandal. And I was watching at that a couple of times. It was a similar structure, and I really wondered, why can a painting like this be controversial? I didn't see it. Like, yeah, you put it as a window into the church, How can it be controversial?
You say that we have to talk about the money. If he makes he's a very famous artist, and
Yeah.
he's a very dynamic in the art market, and he make a lot of money. A lot of investors really want to like to put a lot of money to his painting. Probably not for him. I think it's probably usually some true artist or some artist in the beginning just only dedicated into the art and trying to spend a lot of time to make art, but he's make money. Gradually, some artists get some advantage on the art market. It's like, okay, money is very sweet, and I really want to make some art for money or something, but start to painting something, and if it's the painting he doing always controversial, in nowadays probably he just quit it very soon, very quick. But why he's always keep passion to do it? Probably some people, something drive him to go forward, go further. It's hard to it's hard to say just he make art for money, but it's like probably that is a factor to infect him and just do some art.
So you would criticize him as a commercial artist?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I don't see that about him because he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
He just works every day. I mean, he works maybe not a workaholic. He has a very, how to say, timed schedule. So I think he works 8 hours a day, 8 hours painting.
But what do you think? Do you like the campaigning?
So I know how it's made. It's aleatoric, right? So it's not that he designed this. He used a certain, I believe, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm conflating it, but I think he uses a coincidence model to produce that. It's a bit like John Cage, right? Is it art? I don't see it as controversial. I can see that easily. Like my professor in Pittsburgh, he produced a book. It was called The Multi-Voiced Body. And he had that as the cover of his book. And for him, it represented a unity that is constituted by differences. But I feel that's too much interpretation applied to this.
Yeah, but anyway, just he's still here, and painting is still here, and just let people to compliment or just criticize. But anyway, just he's still here. I think that is worthful. That's very worthful. Even though I don't know, it's not my taste. I don't want to say that I don't like it, but it's not my taste. I mean, but
to be honest, I think he did better stuff. He did better stuff in the 70s, but okay, we can talk sometime about Gerd Richter.
Okay.
There's also an interesting movie. Last one.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, that's not the last one. Where's the one that I wanted to show you? Oh no, it's gone. Wait, one second. Do you know what this is, by the way? I saw that in New York, but I saw that live.
No, I never said that before, but it's kind of drawing, it's kind of sketch. But
it's a sculpture.
A sculpture? Oh, sculpture.
It's a famous sculpture.
Oh, that is called Giacometti. Maybe Giacometti.
Oh, that's Spanish. Maybe Giacometti.
Yeah, he's a Spanish sculptor. Spanish sculptor. Yeah, he's very quite famous. It's quite famous. But this one is. But this sculpture looks like him. It looks like his stuff. But this way to show art as the first time to get it.
I thought it's Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, yeah, it's a lie to my to my time.
Like art. It's a lie. It's all an illusion.
Liars. Art is a liar, maybe.
Wait 1 second. I want to look for the last one that I wanted to show you. Okay, last one. So this here says, "This is not art." So is this art or is it not art?
Yeah, probably it's art. Probably it's not art, but it's being existed already. So. Probably it's art.
So, but it says it's not art.
The word is not art.
So you don't trust. You don't trust the piece of art.
It is not art. Yeah, it is a very paradox. Yeah, I thought it is art. I thought it is art, and even
So why
though
do you think it's art?
because it's ready-made, because it's objective of the idea, but that is a artist idea. He's a catch up with some idea. It's like okay, art is not art. So just put as the phrase, put on word, put on there. So it's very interesting, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because it's so paradoxical, right?
Mm.
And it engages with a question that boggles a lot of people's mind. Like, what is art? And so this art says, for all of these to agree, this is not art, and they, yeah, I agree, this is not art. So, but then it's an art piece that brings people to an agreement with them. So it joins the message of the author, of the artist. But I
Very
agree,
interesting.
it
Yeah,
remains to be
yeah,
art, maybe.
yeah. It is not art. Yeah, probably you can print out. You can print out and show your student, or is that you can ask a question, simple questions like is art is not art, or it's like is the examination you want to pass or not pass,
Yeah.
something like this. Yeah.
So this is probably the space in which art exists. It is not entirely decidable whether it's art or not art. And maybe that makes art interesting to us because it incites discussions about what is the space in which we are living, right? Is it a mere material cosmos in which we live? Or does it inherit elements that lift it above what it is? And here we see that. It says it's not art, but by the way it exists, it's beyond its intrinsic message or the message that it tries to transport, namely that it's not art.
Yeah. It's quite very interesting. It's very let people think, deep thinking. So it's like it's like life. It's like art. Yes, the what exactly is art? What exactly is life? You know, so a lot of people have different answer. You know, just but I, in my opinion, is like as a result, I don't really want to you know just judge people. I don't really want to infect people. But if I have to infect, I really want to infect positively rather than negatively. Just I really want to, you know, a God person or just educated person. So like, okay, that's art, that's belong art. But I don't want to push you and give you pressure. You have to absorb or you have to input my idea or something. But I think the art is very flexible, and I think there's a lot of the opportunity and the possibility in the art. So that's the reason why a lot of the artists really want to dedicate or to spend the whole day, a whole life to in making art and research art. And art is never end. Life is never end. Yeah.
Art does not end. However, this show ends right now. If you liked it, if you think it's art, then maybe subscribe, like the channel, you know the spiel, you know how it goes. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.
So yeah.